There's a formula to knowing when to sell and when to nurture. And no, it's not just follow your gut. If your emails feel like they're missing the mark, you might be pushing when you should be building trust or warming up when your audience is ready to buy. In this episode, I'll show you how to stop guessing and start sending the right message at the right time so you can finally get results. Hi, I'm Larissa Worstiak. I run a marketing agency called Joy Joya, and for nearly a decade, I've been helping product-based e-commerce brands grow with more intention and clarity. We ditch the marketing formulas and build strategies that actually connect. You could create the most beautifully crafted, perfectly polished sales email, and it could still fall flat if it doesn't meet your subscriber where they are in the journey. One of the most common disconnects I see in e-commerce email marketing strategy is sending a buy now message to someone who doesn't even know who you are yet. Or on the flip side, sending fluffy, feel-good storytelling emails to subscribers who are primed and ready to purchase. That misalignment leads to low engagement, unsubscribes, or worse, being ignored. So let's talk about how to avoid that. Why does this happen, and why is it not your fault? Small business owners like you wear a million hats, and when you finally carve out the time to create an email campaign, it's tempting to just get something out the door, especially if you've got a new launch or promotion that slipped your mind until the last minute. But here's what you have to remember. Not all subscribers are the same. Not all traffic sources are equal. And not every moment is made for selling. Let me give you an example. If someone joins your list through a giveaway or a discount pop-up, they're probably just browsing. They're in the early stages of getting to know your brand. They're not emotionally invested yet. And now compare that to someone who signed up through a be the first to know call to action about a new drop you've been talking about for weeks with a clear story and build up. That person's already engaged. They've shown explicit interest in your products, especially the new ones that are coming, and they're much more likely to take action when your email hits their inbox. Understanding how someone joined your list is just one powerful clue about what they're expecting from you and what they're actually ready for. As your relationship with that subscriber grows, there are other ways to learn even more about where they are in the journey, like how they interact with your emails, what they click on, or which products they view. And we'll get into some of those later, but it starts with being curious about the path they've taken to find you. Is there such a thing as nurturing too much? There is. What happens when you nurture too much? I've worked with plenty of brands who hesitate to sell. They're afraid of being pushy. They've heard the give value advice so many times that they're now stuck in nurture mode, afraid to actually ask for the sale. So they keep sending story after story, tip after tip, burying the call to action, but never make a clear offer, and then wonder why revenue isn't growing. Sure, nurturing builds trust, but trust without action doesn't move the business forward. All right, so is it possible to sell too much? Yes, it is. And what happens when you do sell too much? On the other end of the spectrum, I see brands that go all in on selling all the time. Every email is about new arrivals, promotions, low stock alerts, or some kind of product push. It's all discounts and SKUs, and there's no breathing room, no story, no value beyond buy this now. And look, your subscribers might tolerate that for a while, especially if they're already fans or they've been waiting for a sale. But if every single message is just a transaction, you're not building a relationship. Eventually, people start tuning out. They stop opening. Or worse, they unsubscribe because it feels like you're only talking at them, not with them. Selling too much makes your brand feel like a storefront window, always on display, but never inviting someone in to connect. What's missing is the trust building layer, the founder perspective, the education, the styling tips, the inspiration, the why, the content that makes someone care about the product before you ask them to buy it. So, when do you sell then? And when do you nurture? It's not always a clean, one size fits all answer. But the better you understand your customer's mindset and where they are in their journey, the more strategic and effective your messaging becomes. One helpful way to think about this is a simple progression: curiosity to connection to conversion. This isn't a strict funnel or formula. Instead, it's more of a mindset you can bring to your email strategy. And it can show up in different ways depending on the source, the segment, and how someone is behaving over time. So let me break this down for you. 1, curiosity. This is the beginning. Someone just found you, maybe through social media, a blog post, a gift guide, a giveaway, or a friend's recommendation. They're intrigued, but they don't know you yet. So the goal is to give them a reason to stick around. Meet them with content that's light, welcoming, and clearly focused on what's in it for them. Think a welcome email that shares your brand promise, a simple tip or styling idea that shows your value, a visual highlight of your best sellers, or what makes you different. At this stage, it's less about selling and more about sparking interest. 2, connection. Now they're opening your emails, clicking links, and showing signs of curiosity turning into interest. They may have signed up through a wait list, a product quiz, or a thoughtful landing page tied to something deeper than a discount. The goal here is to build emotional trust. This is where you start layering meaning, what your brand stands for, why you do what you do, and how your products come to life. Start incorporating things like your founder story or personal mission, behind the scenes glimpses, social proof, and customer love. Product mentions woven naturally into the story. At this point, they should be warming up, and now you're inviting them in. And that's where number 3 comes in: conversion. This subscriber is showing real engagement. They've opened several emails, clicked through, maybe even visited your site or added to cart. This is your green light. The goal is to help them make a decision. It's time to guide them confidently toward purchase without second guessing yourself. Now you can send those back-end stock alerts, pre-order announcements, time-sensitive promotions, or subscriber-only perks, personalized recommendations based on what they've clicked or browsed. And when the time is right, this kind of email doesn't feel salesy. It feels like a helpful nudge. And here's something important to remember. Even someone who's been on your list for years and opens every email isn't in the same mindset. People wax and wane in what they need from you. Sometimes they're in discovery mode, other times they're ready to buy. And then there are moments where they just want to stay connected without being sold to. That's why the best email marketing strategies don't treat nurture and sales as separate phases on a one-way road. It's more like a loop, a conversation, a rhythm. You're not just moving people through a funnel. You're showing up for them consistently in different ways depending on where they are right now. What does this look like in reality, though? I'm talking very abstractly. So say you're doing a product launch. You're gearing up for a launch. Your instinct might be to shout about the new product right away. But when you apply this curiosity to connection to conversion lens, you start to see the bigger picture. Before launch day, warm people up. Remind them why your brand exists and why your work matters. Tease what's coming without giving it all away. Share the inspiration or design story behind the new piece. And that way, when you do send the actual sales email, it's not a cold pitch. It's the natural next step in a story they're already invested in. You've laid the groundwork, you've earned their trust. Now you're simply offering them the thing they've been waiting for. My mini challenge for you this week, take a look at one of your last 3 email campaigns and ask yourself, was this email aligned with what my subscribers needed in that moment? Not just based on where I was in my marketing calendar, but where they were in the relationship. If not, think about how you might approach it differently next time. Could you segment more intentionally? Could you build in a little more context or care before making the ask? You don't have to overhaul your whole strategy. Just start tuning into the signals and adjusting one message at a time. The best email marketing strategy for small business isn't necessarily about sending more. It's about sending what's meaningful when it matters. Sometimes that means nurturing someone new. Sometimes it means reconnecting with someone who's been with you for years, but just needs a reminder of why they fell in love with your brand in the first place. And yeah, sometimes it means making the ask clearly and confidently. Your email list isn't a linear funnel. It's a living, breathing community made up of real people, each on their own path with you. When you meet them with empathy, timing, and intention, your marketing doesn't just work better, it feels better too. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and check out my other videos for even more tips.